favorite. Let's keep it with the phones here. And we kind of talked about this plan that was circulating. I don't know how it ended up on WhatsApp, but we have from the Guam Chamber, Catherine Castro. Good morning, Catherine.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday.
So I guess we just start at the beginning. That plan that you guys are going to present to the governor is what I heard. It ended up going all around on WhatsApp.
Really?
Yeah. It almost went around as much as that. Dear Governor, you told us this, you told us that.
Oh my goodness!
It was a crazy WhatsApp day. Yeah. So people started sending it to me in the afternoon yesterday, and we were able to confirm that it was from the chamber in some way, shape, or form. So I guess just take us to the beginning. And we'll read the message. You want to read the message?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Moving as fast as I can over here.
Sorry.
It's cool. You guys are working real hard.
There's a lot of WhatsApps to go through,
Yeah.
Catherine.
Sure.
If you could just tell us, though, I guess, how did this come about? Have you guys been meeting or had a meeting and laid out this plan?
Sure. This is something that we've all thought about from the very beginning, right? So we were alerted in late January, right? We started to see cancellations come in mid-February, early February. We were discussing how this was going to impact our economy. We wrote a letter, if you recall, to the governor asking for a moratorium on implementing the minimum wage. So we kind of saw that, this was going to happen. We were going to be impacted in a big way, and we wanted to help our businesses, kind of cope with that, right? We didn't want to see employees get laid off. We wanted to have everybody keep their jobs as much as possible. And then, when the obvious shutdown happened, as soon as we were shut down on March 20th, our minds shifted gear. Okay, so we're shut down, and initially it was going to be shut down for 14 days or so. How are we, let's look at how we're going to get back. How are we going to reopen Guam? So this has been an ongoing discussion for a number of weeks. And that, when we understood that the governor was looking at, putting together a group, we put together, our plan was already almost set, and we sent it to the governor's group for consideration.
Mm-hmm. When was this sent to the governor?
Goodness, when did we sent it to her group? When did we send this? I'm looking at my email. Sorry.
Like a week ago?
No,
because she made the announcement. I think it was last week Friday that she had this economic.
So we sent it like Monday or Tuesday or something like that. When just really recently, just this week.
Okay.
Sent it. Yeah.
Did you ever get a response?
No, because I don't know if they. I think they've met once, and they're supposed to meet again today, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and our chair, Christine Balato, is part of that group.
Right. So have you heard anything about what the Economic Recovery Advisory Panel, what they plan to propose?
Well,
or what their plan is?
I know that they also have a plan, but I haven't seen it. So we're hoping that that our plan could also be looked at and taken into consideration. I think that it was a pretty good and thoughtful plan.
Can we read it out, Bree?
Certainly.
Yeah, so we got this little the message that was going around.
All right. Going into the next week, the Chamber's plan calls for other service and retail businesses to open using social distancing and sanitation protocols. Appointments would be needed for barbers, salons, gyms, realtors, and shopping centers. Additionally, malls and shopping centers would have to limit the number of people, a concept that retailers such as Home Depot and Payless supermarkets have adopted. The week of May 4th is when the first big phase would start, assuming the rate of infections remains low. Currently, it's about 13% to 14%, according to the governor. Phase 1. Allow all private sector businesses and government offices to open while abiding by social distancing and sanitation protocols. Bars and restaurants remain closed for sit-down service. Phase 2, the week of May 25th, allow for all parks, restaurants, and other places for gathering to open while adhering to sanitation and social distancing protocols. Phase 3, the week of June 22nd, all public places and private businesses would resume normal operations with the same sanitation protocols and limited social distancing. All bars and restaurants would be allowed to open, and larger gathering, which adhere to CDC guidelines, would be permitted. The government should also prepare to start body temperature scanning, pre-boarding health surveys, and footpath sterilization pads for incoming arrivals at the airport.
So I'm not sure who wrote that notice, but they pulled from our matrix. So we actually sent this to our members. There's a summary, and then there's an outline, and then there is a proposed matrix which outlines the phases that you talked about.
Right.
I see.
And so obviously everything first and foremost, we would safety is important, and that we would follow whatever the CDC and the public health guidelines are.
Right.
And so this is this was for discussion. This is something that we put out there. We feel very, very strongly that we're ready. The business community is ready. We want to have our people employed. We want to bolster people's spirits, and it's important in our community. We live in an enclosed island. We need to, bring people's spirits up, and if that means that, we're going to be able to open up shops and go to Kmart, and what is essential for me may not be essential for somebody else.
I need Zori.
Exactly.
I need Zori. My Zori broke 2 weeks ago. Sorry.
And you know what? If I'm a young mother and I need Play-Doh for my kids and coloring books and crayons, then my goodness, I better have that access to that.
That was kind of a weird one, though. I don't know. I think if that was was it the governor's legal counsel's call to, make this determination about what? I mean, it's just kind of. So I could go into the grocery store and I cannot buy stuff that's, deemed non-essential by some lawyer, but I can go and buy things that are probably not as essential, and it's in the same store. It's weird.
Yeah. So, we respect, the authority, and we respectfully submitted the plan, and we're ready. I feel like our businesses, they know what to do. I mean, we've seen that it works. We've seen it at Payless. We've seen it at all of these other places, right?
Yeah. But Catherine, how do you kind of hedge the public health and the safety of the public? Because I don't think that we've seen anywhere kind of reopen. I mean, they're talking about reopening in the States. It's become a partisan issue. But I mean, we have these models of what's working right now during this lockdown, but we don't have any other model out there to compare it to. You know what I mean? We're still kind of having that conversation nationally. So, and I understand this is a discussion plan, and it's all contingent on the testing, right? So, I guess what has been your reaction? I mean, Christine is going to run this up the flagpole down there at Adelup, but let's just be honest. The Chamber of Commerce does not have the best, if any, relationship with this administration.
We have a responsibility to the business community and to our employees. And this is important. This is important for our people. This is important for our economy. This is important for the government of Guam. If we don't, have money circulating in our economy, how is the government, even essential services, going to be able to provide services in the next coming months?
Mm-hmm.
The federal.
Oh, goodness. I mean, thank God for the federal government. But what are we doing now as a community? So, we're ready, and, we're hoping that the governor and the task force group sees this. We understand the health implications. We have been abiding by the executive orders, and this is it. This is our proposal, and we will continue to press and see where we're going to go.
How do you think this proposal is going to be different from the one that the governor's economic recovery group is going to present to the recovery advisory panel?
You know, our proposal is based on, recommendations from the White House, recommendations from the U.S. Chamber. I don't think that there will be a lot of differences. I think where the differences will fall will be in the phases and what determines those phases, what dates those are, right? And so we were working off of May 4th because that was the date that the last, based on the last executive order. I was hearing chatter on our chamber board chat that may change again, which was a little disheartening. I'm not sure if you've heard, but we will continue to...
Yeah, I put in a request with that loop. We heard that the governor made some kind of announcement about an extension, but we're just waiting for the official confirmation on that. So.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if that's accurate, then that's just going to throw all you guys' plans, way back. And
well, we're hoping that there are certain things that will be relaxed. We've asked for the roadblocks to be lifted.
The checkpoints.
Yes, we've asked for the retail establishments to be less restrictive and to be able to purchase products that are needed.
The barbershops. That's how
we've asked for there's certain things based on what the guidelines and the criteria has been, and I believe we've met them as a community, and I think that the community has done a fantastic job of adhering to these guidelines.
Right.
I had a couple questions. I wanted to ask about Mary Rhodes with the GHRA several weeks ago. She was on our show and she mentioned this task force with the Guam Visitors Bureau. Does the Chamber of Commerce have any representation on that task force, and have they been able to provide any input on whatever it is that they're working on?
You know what? I am no, but as far as I know, we don't have representation on their task force. But the visitors industry has representation on the chamber, and that's those folks. We've had a good distribution of people in various industries that participated in our proposal.
What is it, Catherine? What did you guys do to the governor that she just doesn't want to give you guys the time of day? Let's just all be honest, that there's something there that's preventing this relationship from moving forward. And it's weird because, she comes from a business background. So you would think that there would be some kind of, meeting in the middle. So what is it?
Sure. You know what? I honestly don't know.
Come on, Catherine.
I honestly don't know. I think that we have been very cordial and very polite and very respectful. That's the nature of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. But when we feel that the business community needs support in various issues, then we're going to speak out about it, because this is not, businesses and they want to make money and all that. This is about our community. This is about bringing up the quality of life for everybody on Guam, so that we can do what we want to do. We can take the kids to McDonald's and a movie. We want to be able to have all of our people have whatever opportunity it is that they want, so that they can have the quality of life that they aspire to. And if there are legislation that prevents that, then yes, we're going to definitely speak up about it.
Well, I was surprised when we heard last week Friday that Christine was actually nominated or appointed to this economic recovery panel advisory group. Were you surprised?
Well, I was happy that she was invited. I would have been surprised if we were not invited.
Yeah. I
think that we have made every effort to be as upfront about where the chamber is, and we have made, every gesture with the legislature, with the administration, that we're here to help, that we would love to be able to come to the table and work together.
Mhm.
This is our home. Collectively, we should work together.
Mhm. I hear you, and I'm kind of wondering if she was surprised. But be that as
I think she was.
But be that as it may,
I think she
she's
was.
on
Should
this
have been.
panel,
Should have been.
and she's on this advisory group. So I guess I'm not sure how many times they've met because we don't get any kind of information like that. But
Yeah, so they met that one time. I guess it was last Friday, and they're meeting again today.
Are we talking about the recovery panel of advisors, or are we talking about the economic recovery thingamabob?
Okay.
is there more than one?
Economic-
There's
Yeah.
two, right? There's two groups,
Two.
right?
Yes, there's a group of advisors, and they meet. They have met a couple of times already, and I think they met yesterday. Oh, and then this economic recovery group is a smaller group, and it's made up of I guess health professionals, government of Guam, the private sector. So it's a smaller, tighter group, to my understanding.
So which group is Christine on? The small
She's on
tighter
both.
group? She's on both groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, what kind of feedback has she been giving you and the chamber about whatever they're talking about?
Has she been getting in trouble, Catherine? Because I'm
No.
thinking, no, and I'm only saying this because the obvious things that the chamber is saying is,
Yeah.
you know, the BPT, can we pause the BPT or whatever you guys want to do with the BPT? And that just triggers the governor. When she hears BPT, it's like, oh, look out.
Yes. We.
So I'm just curious, how does Christine,
Yeah.
you know, move forward with these conversations that need to be had? But, you know, I mean, she's basically the only one in there who's not getting a paycheck from the governor. I mean, you know, kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've been asked to stand down on the BPT, but we have.
Who asked you to stand down on the BPT, Catherine?
Has any of the ideas, I mean, that, you know, Christine has presented on behalf of the chamber in these past couple of weeks, and whatever big group, small group, have
They've
they
been
taken her?
under advisement. They've been taken under advisement.
Has she given you an idea though what they're looking at, what their plan is?
It's all still in discussion. They're all still discussing.
So what have they been discussing? I mean, what are some of their, I guess, this group?
It's a lot of things that what we've been talking about. We've been talking about, you know, the roadblocks, and then they said, well, Christine, you know, you want to lift the roadblocks, then give us, you know, give us statistics. So we reached out to the members and said, hey, you know, help us out. What's going on? You know, what are some of that feedback, right? So we got feedback from the folks that are essential businesses that are having to go through these roadblocks, and how is it affecting their business, right? You know, so we've been receiving that, so we put that forth. So, you know, those types of things, like we push something out, they'll say, well, what's the feedback? What's the, what's the statistical information? So, so that, you know, like I said, we are we're putting it out there. We've said that, you know, can we please have the Paylesses and the Kmart, you know, sell everything.
Right.
Right?
Totally agree. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you walk in a store and they got this roped off, they got that roped off. The store's open. Open. Store should be open.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, there's SOPs already in place. You know, businesses, you know, because they're closed, that doesn't mean that they're not working. These guys are hustling. These guys are putting together brand new SOPs so that they can open their stores and have people feel safe. There is a community-wide fear, right? So even though, for example, you know, a Ganya shopping center or GPO or the mall opens, it's not there's not gonna be a stampede. People are gonna be afraid, right? So how do you eliminate that fear? There's gonna be protocols, sanitation protocols that will need to be adhered to, and of course, if they don't adhere to it, then okay, shut down, right? Because this is a matter of the health of our community. We understand that, but as much as we understand that, things and there are needs of the people that need to be met. You know, we need to buy Dory. Dang it, then let us buy Dory.
And I want the nice Zori. I don't want the mom and pop store Zori. I'm going to spend on Zori. That's one of those things I will spend on Zori.
Exactly.
Well, Catherine, I guess, I mean, and gosh, I don't know what to say because I feel like your plan's just going to get rejected.
Well, we've been rejected several times, but that doesn't keep us down. We need to continue to push our agenda because it's good for Guam, and we feel very strongly about it. We feel that a lot of the community is in agreement, and I know that I think that we'll see something happen, and I feel very positive. I'm the positive person in the group, so we'll see where it goes.
That's it. Stay positive, but not COVID positive.
I'm a prayerful person, and that has been, thank God for that, and we'll get through this, and we'll, and like I've said in our groups meetings that we're gonna Guam, in the next 2 to 3 years is gonna be different, but it's gonna be better.
Okay.
I guess we'll probably call you maybe.
Yeah, Catherine.
Later on,
could we be calling
if
you?
we get this plan.
I don't want to call Christine too much because she's in that group, and I just I don't want her to get in trouble because I feel like
Sure.
we already got her in trouble last month.
Mm-hmm. But
No
as far
problem.
as far as you nobody in the chamber got a copy of this plan that's supposedly going to be rolled out today. No. Or well, you haven't.
I haven't seen it. So.
I mean, why would you? You're just the president.
Does Christine have a copy?
Perhaps she does. I'm not sure. We haven't talked this morning.
Right.
But we'll see. I mean, we're very proud of the proposal that we put out. It's for discussion, and I think that it's a good working document, and we'll see. We'll see
it's definitely generating discussion this morning, Catherine.
I'm so interested. I don't know who started that WhatsApp chat, but I'm kind of tickled.
Yeah, well, just don't put anything on WhatsApp if you don't want it to go around.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Be safe.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
guys
And let us know. Keep me posted.
Alrighty.
And wash your hands too, okay?
You too.
Okay.
Bye.
right.
Yeah, there you go. That's Catherine from the Guam Chamber. And to be fair, we read off their plan, but all that plan, it's all contingent on what the test results say. So,
And this is just a summary.
yeah, and it's a summary, and we can come up with plans to plan ahead because Lana, when they got no plan, you guys get mad, and when they plan, you get mad. So, yeah, they're doing their part, and maybe that's their idea. And I just got to go back to who would know about reopening the businesses and all that stuff from a business perspective. Probably the businesses, maybe.
Well, it's interesting because I'm not trying to compare anything,
Okay.
but in the CNMI,
Well, here you go with the CNMI.
they're having this fiscal summit,
Yeah.
and it's through Zoom. They said over 100 people were participating, I think, according to SMOS,
Right.
and it's people in the business community.
And the
They've
people in
got
the chamber.
senators or
Yeah.
legislators over there that are participating.
You know what it is?
It's this open dialogue.
Yeah, I just think the governor can't handle the criticism.
And there's nobody from the legislature that's appointed to this economic recovery
I think
group
the speaker
panel of advisors
she said
slash
something
one
about
group one group
Senator.
two. I didn't even know there were two groups.
I told you
thought
there were two groups.
Well, that's not what was announced.
Yeah, it wasn't really announced. But a lot of things aren't really announced nowadays. It's 9:19. We're gonna take a little break. It's the KUM News.